Actually, Phonique is not really like a project. It's my artist name, and I was looking for an artist name because I was DJing. I started to DJ at one point, and then I thought I need a proper name. So I was checking a lot of ideas, and then I came up with Phonique. I thought it's a unique name. It sounds unique, and I started it, and I started to DJ as Phonique, and then a few years later I started to produce. The music I do is mainly, it's always been house music in general, but since I started it developed a little bit, like new categories were like came up, like deep house is now everyone is like calling it deep house. Back in the days it was mainly house music, but I play and produce like stuff which has vocals. I play and produce stuff which is kind of minimal, but the main thing is always house and very deep and soulful in a way. Nothing at all. I was just like I heard my first house track in 1988 at a party, and I was like totally falling in love with that kind of music. So I was like just buying records and listening to them and buying more records and trying to get everything I could from that time on. And I was just like a normal music lover, and at one point I started to DJ, and then if you do it years over years and you're really into it, you develop your own ideas. And I was never playing an instrument. I don't know how to read the notes or anything. So I'm just like, I'm coming from house music, and I was always into house music. I produce almost everything I produce with a partner who's like running the big studio, and so every time I go to the studio I already have some ideas. Sometimes it's just the bass line. Very often what happens is I'm going to a club, or I'm listening to the radio in the car, and I hear a track, and there's some melody inside, and in my head I have another melody on top of it, and then I just like isolate this melody I have and try to sing it to my phone or something, just to remember it the next time. And from this melody, very often I start to produce something. I got a promo record from someone with a track from Morgan Guys from Metro area with the vocals of Erland Oye. And I never heard of this guy before, I have to admit. And I got this record and I thought, like, that's amazing music. Like, it's like this kind of electronic music I really like. And then this vocalist is perfect. So someone I knew had his phone number, so I called this guy. I had no idea who he was, and he was really nice. He said like, yeah, let's meet and have a drink, and then we talk about it. And so we met, and he was really easy. We had a good conversation talking about music, and then he said like, okay, you're DJing on Saturday here at the club in Berlin, so I just come by, bring a microphone, and I'm just singing a little bit while you're DJing, and we can record it, and then maybe we get some ideas. So I thought, yeah, that's perfect. So I did it, and so this is how our friendship started. And after that, like I found out that he's already very famous for Kings of Convenience. He was the vocalist for Oixoff, for Paulino, and Remind Me. He was doing something with DJ Hell for his album. So I was really lucky didn't know about this and just got in contact with him. And he was living in Berlin for a long time, and since he moved back to Norway, I lost a little bit contact to him. It's really sad because he was so many projects. He also started this White Square Live thing, this band. They did 2 albums which were really great, and they just released their third Kings of Convenience album. So he moved back to Norway to work on this Kings of Convenience stuff, and I think Berlin really distracted him also, like going out and just, that's Berlin. You can't help yourself. The thing is, especially in Berlin, we always had like a kind of mix of minimal and deep house in a way. It sounds maybe weird, but it's like it's a natural thing. Like DJs like Steve Buck, Ricardo Villalobos, Luciano, they are always like playing kind of a minimal, but it contains a lot of deep elements. So it's always a big mix of house, deep house, minimal in a way, but in a way that it's grooving and it's working. If I can't go to a party where you play minimal the whole night and even if someone is only playing deep house the whole night, sometimes it gets a little boring. It's very easy to just do a minimal track, but I think it's difficult to do a good minimal track, a track which is special, because for minimal you're somehow not allowed to use too many elements, so you really have to choose what to do to make it special. So it's production-wise it's easy with a minimal, but you need to have a really good idea to make it a special track. Actually, I was working on my third album now for the last 1-2 years, and I got almost 15-16 tracks together. I hope maybe in 2 months it will be done, and we can release it again on DANCE.GE, on Steve Buck's label. Working again with like a lot of vocalists and some other producers, doing some very vocalish tracks which are different to what I did maybe in the past, but also doing very house versions of those tracks. And then I was also focusing a little bit on my own label, Ladies and Gentlemen, where I had some releases of my studio partner Tiger Skin, of Vincenzo, some unknown people like Kiki Orix from Japan and Kilo from Paris. As I'm like producing everything with this guy Alex Krüger, who's nowadays famous for his project Tiger Skin. Back in the days he was more popular for the project Dub Taylor or Korsakov. He's a big hardware nerd, like he's super much into hardware. But if it comes to producing, it's very much easier to just like focus on Cubase, because you can recall all the settings. We have amazingly a lot of hardware, and he really knows how to work with it. If you know how to use Cubase with all those plugins and how to receive the right sounds you want to have, then it's totally fine to work with that. But of course, hardware is always nice. Top man for me is a guy called Gorge. He's doing the label 8-Bit, and everything he's doing, all the remixes are very housey, really always working. So Gorge is definitely one of those. Then there's a guy from Hamburg called Hosh, H-O-S-H, from the Dynamic label, and he's doing great stuff. And then I figured out, of course, I have like my friends like Vincenzo, Steve Buck, Martin Lansky, they're like always producing good music. But also Vincenzo a little bit reintroduced me to this guy from, I think he's also from Hamburg, Lovebirds. He was also doing the Knee Deep project, and the new Lovebirds stuff is like amazing, a lot of really good stuff. So I would say those are like my favorite producers. First time I came, I've never been to this country before, so I didn't know what to expect, and I found out that the people who invited me were really nice, and I really love the city and the food and everything around. The club was not a proper club. It's like a venue. I don't know what's happening normally there. They're doing parties. There was even a piano and stuff like that. So it's not like it wasn't the kind of club we are used to have nowadays. So the party was a little strange. There was some fighting going on when I was just starting to play. So but there was so much love coming from the people who were there. So I really enjoyed the party. And I think when I see this club today here, the Guru Club, I'm pretty sure we will have a really good party here. And this looks like a proper club to me, and looks like a good sound system, good light, everything. And so I guess it will be a big difference tonight.
No more from you. This is who you are.
Hi, this is Phonique, and this is for DANCE.GE and DANCE.GE.
I know this ain't gonna win. I know this now.